the plan early on in terms of identifying the needs of this class. We built great relationships early on, stayed with it, have had really good success on the field over the past 3 years while we were recruiting. Great recognition. Notre Dame, obviously, in itself has its own ability to sell itself from an academic standpoint and a community standpoint, and consistency in messaging throughout that entire period of time. So, long-standing relationships, success on the field over a long period of time, and then I think Notre Dame continuing to be who it is and who it's been has allowed us to put together an elite class.
How much of the focus on offense was a response to the Clemson game and then the playoff and maybe not being able to score as much as you'd like to in that kind of a setting, and maybe pitching to those guys that are making them believe that maybe they're a part of being the answer to those issues?
Yeah, we never go into a home and talk about what we can't do. It's what we can do with you, and what it would look like adding you to this. So I think when it comes to each one of these guys, it's picturing yourself, here's where we are, here's where we can go, adding you to the success that we've already had. So I think painting that picture is certainly important, but we certainly do it from a positive perspective, and then let them take it from there.
The player that maybe didn't project, or the player that you had to turn and really convince that Notre Dame was a good fit for him?
Well, I think there's several of those guys that take that take germinating, if you will, that you have to stay with it. Look, I believe that we have done a great job identifying who those players are, and that we believe that they fit. They may not believe that they fit early on. Mm-hmm. And so it's that process of us staying with them and continuously showing them who we are and what our distinctions are, and staying with that and not falling off and saying, again, here's why we believe this is the right place for you. I think there were several of those guys that we had to stay with and continue to show that. Chris Tyree, I think, is a great example of that we needed to stay in there with him and continue to show the reasons why Notre Dame was the right place for him. And I don't think he's the only one. I think there are others that I could look down on this list that are part of that. So as much as we see it in them, sometimes they don't see it, and we have to be diligent and not be afraid of sticking with it and making sure they get that message.